welcome to another episode of Political Hour. This is the show where we ask the hard questions, analyze Nigeria's political landscape, and of course push for accountability from those in power. I'm your host, Faith Kebbi, and today we're looking at two disturbing events that have shaken up the nation. Of course, the shocking kidnap of schoolgirls in Kebbi State and the tragic church killing in Kwara State. With me is a political analyst and a public affairs commentator. We have Kingsley here with us. Kingsley, it's great to have you on the show again. You're welcome.
Good day, and it's nice doing this with you again.
Oh yes, this is ComfortTV.channel, your number one spot for information. Make sure you give a like to this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. Now, getting straight into our discussion for the day. Let's begin with the Kebbi girls kidnap. Of course, Nigeria has been battling mass abductions for years. We have the Chibok case, the Dabchi, Kankara, and now Kebbi is the most recent tragic news we've just gotten from same events. Kingsley, before we move forward, before we dig deeper, how did you react when you heard the news about the kidnap of 25 girls from school in Kebbi State?
Well, the news came as a shock to me because I thought, this has been what we should not be talking about, where you see some unknown identifying men go to the schools in the northern region, kidnapping students. And this kidnap, they have to be dealing with girls, white girls. That is the question, white girls. But that aside, we need to know what is really wrong. We know prior to 2025 election, we saw what happened to the Chibok girls. Prior to 2019 election, we saw what happened to Dachi girls. So this issue of kidnap should not be what we should be talking now. I thought, by now, the surveillance in the northern region might have improved because it's been long we heard such. And why is this still happening? That is the question we should be asking.
Yes, everyone was shocked to hear about this case, of course, and a lot of people have felt that the government has failed the citizens of the country because it's a recurring pattern of the kidnap of schoolgirls. I mean, we're looking at security lapses, we're looking at systemic issues. But let's break down the issues troubling Nigerians, because many say that this is more than just kidnapping, and that it could be a reflection of a systemic decay. Look at the failure of the intelligence and the early warning systems. We have heard over time that Nigeria spends billions on defense every year, but communities keep reporting threats even days before attacks, and then nothing happens. I've heard that sometimes this intelligence comes before the event happens. So are we dealing with incompetence, or are we dealing with sabotage, or are we dealing with the both?
Well, what happened in Kebbi is a clear indication of the poor intelligence we have at the local level, because by now would have been seen where we see community-based security outfits. Because these guys, if they were on ground, they will be able to detect all the suspicious movements, and they will be able to know what would have been happened. Because for you to enter somebody's backyard, you have done your surveillance, you have done your information gathering, and you take action. So I think what we should do now, this should not be happening again. The northern governors, they need to come together. We saw the Omoteco that happened in the west, and we saw how the improvements happened in the west. So I think the northern leaders, it's either they are not saying the truth or they're using it to play politics, because we should not be talking about when we know that with the high level of bandits we have in the northern region, and yet we don't have security outfits at the local level. You cannot depend on the federal, because that is the issue we are having now. You depend on the federal. The federal cannot be giving you immediately. Aside responding to you immediately, you're not just the only place in Nigeria, because we have other parts of, we have the west, we have the south, we have the east. So if we have all this area, it's not every time you depend on the federal. You have to wait, let them send troop for you to now know that, your state is safe. We should be talking about state-owned security outfit. But why we are still skeptical about using those state security outfits is because sometimes they will not convert it to politics. They want to turn the security agency to politics and be oppressing the opposition. But that is not what we should be talking about, because government is supposed to be protecting life and property. So if it swear that oath, that you have promised that the life of people in this state is under your custody, then you should be able to come up with a strategy or with a plan to ensure that security is not what we should be talking when you are in power.
All right, there are still whispers going round. You know, I made mention of sabotage. There are whispers even from the community that kidnappers often get inside help from security agents. Yes, even school staff members or local power brokers. Do you think this is something we should be discussing more openly? Because I feel like the focus is not, it's been mentioned, but nobody's talking about it, that there could be a possible sabotage. Maybe there are insiders giving information.
The same sabotage we see in government is the same sabotage we see everywhere. For people to work with information, information is power. Information is also expensive. You pay to get information. So if there is sabotage, then they need to fish the person immediately. There is technology in Nigeria now. You can hack into somebody's phone without the person's permission. Once you know that you follow the right process, you're going to the police, going to court to ensure that you track people. I've seen a case where your phone, if you are working for a company, your phone is being monitored. So I've seen a place like that. And I think government also do that to their maybe appointee. They will give them what is their CCG phone for them to use. So those phones are being monitored. So that is kind of why you don't even allow the court to come into that. So what they should be talking about, because for example now, this location, if I'm tracking somebody that lives in this location, I can track the person through somebody that calls him or her regularly. I don't need to track the person directly, but it's when I get that person, I cannot get the culprit. So this issue of sabotage is what government can do. So they should stop complaining, because the more they complain, is look as if that, the technology system we have in this country, or the technology system the security agency are using to fish out criminal is not working.
All right. Anyways, I just needed to point out that the accusation of sabotage, the allegation of sabotage is coming from people in this community, not from the government per se. Do you understand? It's coming from the people living in the community. They are the ones telling us that they believe there are people who are giving outside information to these bandits, to these attackers. Because like in the case of the Kebbi girls, we heard that 30 minutes to the time of the attack, the security officials just up and left. And the question everybody is asking, who gave the order for them to leave at that time? What intel did they get for them to have left the school undefended? So creating an opening for the bandits to attack without being stopped.
In this case, everybody is a suspect.
Yes.
So you can't, even the security agency, they're also a suspect. Who gave these guys information that, you guys have left that environment? It can be the community, it can be one of you in that security van. So everybody is a suspect. So that is why we need that technology we need to be working with. Because these guys are working, it's like a well-planned movement that was organized, because
very, very organized.
Both the transportation cost, the information that they got, and the way they carry out the operation, very organized. So this is what government should also look into. We have a lot of technology, and we can still talk the aspect of CCTV camera. You don't need, I think there is some CCTV camera that if you might not even be aware that there is camera watching you.
Of course.
So you can put it.
Why are we not employing
So
those?
at the end of the day, we need to be asking all these questions.
And where are the funds that are going into security? Where are the funds?
Because every state government have their own security fund, but at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what are they using it to do? But we see some states, they want to form their own tactical units, like their own security, like a JTF task force, just like we have in other states, maybe Operation Crush, Operation This. It's just a joint force. But is it what they have in the north? Because if this issue of security is what we are talking about, don't be surprised that this security agency might not still have mobility. That when you go to some police station, you will not see vehicle. And how do you want them to operate? They can't operate.
Anyways, we know the usual statement that follow incidents like this. The government of the day feels sad, is deeply saddened by the events. Our heart goes out to the victims and all of that. So another angle, people feel that the government has reduced empathy to a template. We condemn the action. We promise that we are getting to the root of the matter. And then that's all. Most times we just see that there's a move on. So is this leadership or is this public relations? That's what we're asking. Is this leadership or is this public relations?
Well,
I can literally almost quote the next statement that is coming through after a sad event happens.
So the issue now is that state government have seized, like what I said before, they have seized the opportunity to the federal. They have seized the opportunity to the federal. You are a governor that you should plan a robust security operation or security intelligence, internal intelligence in your state. Train, not just train in terms of communication. Some states will have emergency units. Is there emergency call center in your state? I think this is what we should be talking about. They cannot just give you their votes. When they give you their votes, and at the end of the day, 4 years in office, they're talking about how many people can count how many people that died under your administration. It's wrong. So we need to start to building technology-driven policy that will work, that will favor you as a governor, and that will favor the community that voted for you. Because the aspect where you see a governor, your own convoy, we cannot even count numbers of vehicles that follows you. But when you come to the rural area, you hardly see security personnel stationed in various strategic points. And when these people want to carry that operation, some of this operation is not carried in the city, it's carried at the rural area. And when this operation is carried at the rural area, you now ask yourself this question: oh, we have how many INEC wards? So if we have so INEC ward and INEC have those database, can't we have another police station in various wards, ensuring that people are safe, not just stationing and maybe putting 5 people in? No, because the aspect of when you put security personnel, you mobilize them. Not just mobilize them, you have a tactical team that responds actively. So that is what we should be talking about.
Well, Nigeria now has a multi-billion naira kidnap economy, just so you know. Some believe that these incidents continue because people have profited from this. They're enriching themselves through kidnap and other means. Is this an uncomfortable truth that we need to confront here in Nigeria? I mean, every other day we hear in Edo states, not just the north now, because of the kidnap of these girls. Even before the kidnap of these girls, we've had kidnap happen in some other regions of the state here in Nigeria. So are we going to confront this truth that kidnapping might now be posing itself to be a multi-billion industry, in quotes?
Well, I would say this kidnapping in the north, or this kidnapping that was, it's not just in the Nigeria. North. We see it in Nigeria. Kidnapping will still continue if there is no national framework, at least a structure that you know that, oh, this structure is put in place for rescue and financial disruption. Before a money is being credited to somebody's account, you need to know. I
feel like that's the fastest way to track.
You need to know what that money is meant for. But when you come that way, I will tell you, oh, people that is into trade now, you have to use BTC to pay. Don't pay with this so that I can pull out my money by myself.
And they can hide all that stuff.
So I think what government should be thinking about, I can't just see somebody, because I remember then when I was young, I think there is a business my dad did because he's still clearing and forwarding. I think amount of money came into his account. This Interpol, they called him early morning that he need to report to their office as early as 6 o'clock. And he left. Because he has to go and explain how the money got to his account before they now allow the money to drop. The money did not drop. But after the conversation, the money later dropped. Because so if this thing was happening then, what is happening now? Where you will see Mogul's money moving around people's accounts. And at the end of the day, the government is not doing enough in terms of structure And we talk about rescue. You can't just rescue a suspect and let the suspect go. Sometimes this trauma comes with it. So I think, yes, the family on the other side, the government and the community on the other side, I know they have that empathy. They want to push, they want to pay. So it's in two ways. Government need to do what they're supposed to do. The community and the family, they also need to understand that, you can't just pay money. And you need to carry government along, because you should not be supporting kidnapping. Rather, you should be fighting kidnapping. You should kick against that. Yes, we know it's your loved ones. Yes, good and fine. But we know we have seen some cases where you kidnap somebody, the person did not come back. You kidnap somebody after paying ransom, the person is being killed. So we have seen some of those cases. So I think government need to now create a national framework that talks about rescue, that talk about monitoring people's financial account, because it's very, very important. And tracking kidnappers. Because they say when you use one person as a scapegoat, you will see that the numbers will reduce. And this is happening in the states. So if state government can be serious, when they elect you, before you come into power, you should have your strategy. You have SC on security, you still have some security agency. But we understand that, yes, all these agency cannot take order from you, because why? They are federal agency. So they are just there just to support your system. So if they are there to support you, you can also create your own state security agency. I remember when the former governor, that is the FCT minister in Rivers State, when he was in charge of Rivers State, he created one outfit that reduced courtesan in Rivers State, because then we used to hear about court clash. But by the time he brought the security outfit he did, even if you are traveling, you even see them on the highway. By the time he brought them in, the court clash reduced very minimum. You had since then, have you heard about court clash in Rivers State? The answer is no.
Anyways, the question still begs to be answered. Why schools in the north? Why? Schools in the northern Nigeria keeps getting attacked. I mean, how can the country claim to prioritize education but cannot secure children in classrooms? Let's hear your thoughts on this. Okay, I mean, we're talking about still convincing students to go to school, and we're talking about the amount of out-of-school children. So how can we get children to be attracted to education if we cannot secure them even while in class learning?
Another aspect now we also need to ask ourselves. In the states, they have a specific boarding school, because some of these cases happen in boarding schools. They have specific boarding school in these states. Before the boarding school, they did the normal process, their paperwork and everything. The question that you now ask, what is the state government or in that state doing in terms of protection, security? And you can even still push the blame to the local government chairman, because you're also receiving allocation.
Of course.
If you're receiving allocation, these people too are also paying revenue. They are paying tax to you. So if they are paying tax to you, you should also give them protection. So all this boarding school in various states, what is the issue of security surveillance in this boarding school? Because if you have a high surveillance, it will be difficult for people to penetrate.
Of course.
But when you go to boarding school, sometimes you even not see checkpoints. You just see that it's
people
just
can just
place you can just walk in and out and you come out. Even some boarding school, aside this kidnapping stuff, some of them might also be experiencing robbery and attack. So we need to, if you're a state governor, know the amount of boarding school in your state, and you need to also draft your plan of security, ensuring that even if it's not a patrol team. I've seen a case where you will not see security agency in the day, but at night you see them at that particular location, and they will stay in that spot till daybreak, because they feel that spot is like a red spot that you need to be here to ensure that, because some criminals, they operate at night, they operate in the day, but when they want to move, they pass through the road, not through the bush.
Of course. Anyways, that's not our only agenda today on Political Hour. Moving on to Kwara State. Yes, what should have been a peaceful worship service turned into a massacre. Mr. Kingsley, what's your first take on this tragedy?
I don't know how people will feel that you go to a holy ground and you carry an attack. It's a generation curse. is not oh, they send you. Rather, you have created a generation curse. That is a holy ground. Whether some people say, oh, some people are fake, whether it's fake pastor or not fake pastor, that place is a church, is a holy ground. You respect the church. For example, now, I cannot be here and oh, you'll be like a backstabber, or I will be here, I'll be talking bad against my dad. No, I have to show you at that moment. But this is a church. Yes, we know the northerners, they are Muslim, but we also have Christian in the north. The same way we have Muslim in the east and in the west.
Of course.
It's the same way too. We should also have. So everybody should. You don't fight religion. So I don't understand what's happened that you have to go to church. We know the one that happened in Owo, in Ekiti State. That one was something that we should not even be talking about. I know in River State then, during a crossover night, some people also launched an attack to people coming back from church. So the aspect of attacking people that went to church or going to church to carry an attack, you are not just doing your wish, you are rather creating a generation curse.
Well, anyways, I mean, insecurity is fast spreading and the government needs to take swift responsibility. But here's the uncomfortable questions that Nigerians are asking. Is religious violence quietly rising again? Because there's a fear that attacks on religious centers are resurfacing. Are we seeing early signs of a dangerous pattern? How can a place of worship, traditionally a sanctuary, become so easy for gunmen to just penetrate? I mean, what does this say about policing at local levels? I know you've talked about local security, but this is the West, Kwara State, right? I want to believe they are not Central West, somewhere thereabout. Like, what does this say about policing at local levels? Because I want to believe that the federal still has assigned local police in these areas.
Well, to be honest, when all this attack happened, I feel bad the way they come about just to react to the attack. So now, the local level, security should be locally based, not central based. You will go to the township, you will see a lot of security present, you will see checkpoints all over the places. But when you go to the rural places, it's nothing to write home about. I know some places, you see some community, they form their own vigilante. Okay. Maybe a good Samaritan in that community pay them. The
vigilantes.
For example, here you go to estates, you will see some estate security. Then if you're living in that estate, every month there's some certain amount you bring to pay the security in that estate. So I think now we don't need to wait for government. We need to fight our fight. If you have your group, call for meeting. People that are interested for vigilante work, if you know how you guys can be giving them, you might not be putting it like a monthly pay. It's like a support. If you know what you will do to support them, to ensure that, because they will be awake all night just to guide you. So if you know how you can support, you support them, both providing the equipment for them, ensuring that they are kitted, ensuring that the payment comes as when due, not when you gather them, make some promises, and the promise is not being kept. Some of them, you can also put the platform, if you will join, we will take care of one of your child's school fees. So you get to the SS3 level. You might not put the university, because the university might also be high on them. But at least anybody that is joining, be rest assured that you will bring one of your child that will train from the SS3 level. But in a month, we can be giving you small stipend just to support you. Only this thing is an attraction, because if you check in the north, not everybody have that access to education. So if you see the opportunity, at least you know that one of your child is going to benefit in this, then you have to also pay that sacrifice, and at least not if you are doing a work, you should be doing a work with joy, not doing a work and you're lamenting. It will not solve the wound. It will rather add more injury to the wound. So I think this is what the local level needs to do and ensure that they do it well.
Yes, I think that would be very good because in Kwara, residents claimed that they called security forces repeatedly, even before the attack, but got no response. I mean, are we looking at a policing, a Nigerian policing that is fundamentally broken? We don't know what to say about that. And some leaders have also been strangely quiet. I think I read a report in the morning where they said even the chairman of that community has not even visited the church at the time to even commiserate with victims and so I mean, what does this political silence mean in moments like this?
Well, security now have become reactive instead of proactive.
Well, we're talking about even the time that we even get silence.
So,
we even get like.
I think we need leaders that understand the value of prevention. We also need leaders that understand the value of action, because even if something happens, coming to the people alone heals some wounds. Just for example, the vice president visited Kebbi a few days ago.
That was like how many days after the attack?
After the attack. So
like
sometimes some people it's their first time. No, some people it's their first time seeing the vice president for the first time.
But that's not what we should be looking at.
Some citizens will feel among.
Okay. Yeah, they care.
Coming to pay condolence. He's some
all the way
wounds.
from the federal.
Some people will tell you it's better you tell somebody sorry than not say anything, because sorry will heal that wound. So the aspect of we need leaders that understand the value of prevention, because not now we have gotten to the aspect where local government election is not people you bring in or people you want to vote in. Rather is now where you write results and the current governor will want his people to now penetrate. But now you giving me a local government chairman. Does the local government chairman understand the aspect of security? Because when he's hitting them and you are feeling comfortable, tomorrow it might hit somebody that is your loved one, or it might hit you.
Yeah.
Because these guys work with information.
Exactly. Finally, people fear that this attack may have deeper ethnic or sectarian undertones. I mean, why is the government skipping this conversation? Yes, what dangers does this pose for us? Because we don't want to say, okay, a sector is being victimized or a particular tribe is being victimized, especially with the Donald Trump promise to come and invade and all of that. I mean, we're trying to present a united front that, hey, everybody gets attacked, everybody gets this insecurity thing. So please, it's not about the sector, it's not about the region, it's not about the tribe. I mean, do you think the government is deliberately skipping this conversation?
I will not say the government is skipping it, because to me, security is a shared responsibility. It's a shared responsibility between you, between the government, and between your neighbor. They will say security is everybody's business. You sleep with one eye closed and you open the other eye to ensure that you are alert to know what is happening. So this aspect of religious this, religious that, yes, we know the Fulani herdsmen, they attack people in their farm. We see the bandits attack people in the church.
Exactly.
So security should be a shared responsibility. We want to see community standing united. I want to see community be vigilant. I want to see community organize themselves. Because when you do this straight stuff, peace is very achievable. And security is also achievable. Because when you are united, you are vigilant and you are organized, it's difficult for people to penetrate. Because this aspect of, Christian tomorrow, Muslim next tomorrow is not what we should be talking about. We should be talking how to ensure that the community is safe. The community is safe, because in that community you have visitors. Don't put fear on the visitor. Some of them are there working. Don't put fear on them. Rather, you need to protect them. And some community we are lucky to get a boarding house in their locality. So if you're lucky to get a boarding house in your locality, you should also find means to protect students in that locality. So security is a shared responsibility. The government have a role to play, and the citizen also have a role to play.
All right. Anyways, a lot of some of our political, so should I say, stalwarts have said, putting that narrative that the particular region is being attacked in Nigeria, and of course, getting the attention of the international community might further embolden these bandits because they would feel like, oh, we're getting all the attention we need. That maybe we should stop pushing this narrative. Do you think there's any truth in that statement? Like, telling this international community that yes, there's a genocide happening might make these ones feel, oh, finally Trump is paying attention to us. That's a very big deal. So let's keep doing it. That maybe that might be the reason why we are getting more cases of kidnap and insecurity. Do you think there's any truth in that?
Now, I will not say there is not really a truth in that, because it's not everything you reply. It's not everything you reply. From your own aspects, you are trying your best. You are giving your best. But when you see some level of distraction, rather you now have to increase what you're already doing to ensure that you cover some loopholes. So the aspect of Christian genocide, yes, the Christians have been attacked, but also the Muslims have been attacked in their farm. And when you call bandits, you also call the Fulani herders.
Yes, we have different groups.
We have different groups. In the East, yes. We remember a few years ago, the East was like a hotspot. So the aspect now should be, it's not everything you respond to, rather increase the effort to ensure that you cover the loopholes. Yes, Donald Trump might said what he said because he said it because he still have interest. Some people will say, oh, a Nigeria election is deliberated in the US. But I'll tell somebody, no. Bring your PVC. When you cast your vote, protect your vote. But what we now say in Nigeria is that the best rigger win the election.
That's the thing. Anyways, Mr. Kingsley, thank you so much for your insights on Political Hour. Everyone watching us right now, we've looked at the Kebbi kidnappings and we've looked at the Kwara church killings, and two tragedies that raise serious questions about security, leadership, and political will in Nigeria. To our viewers, these are not just headlines. They involve real families, real communities, and of course futures in Nigeria. If Nigeria is ever going to change, these conversations must continue. We need to keep talking about it, and leaders must obviously be held accountable. We want to thank you once more for watching Political Hour. My name is Faith Kevin. I'll see you in the next episode. Remember to like this video, share with your friends, and drop any comments you might have about all we've discussed in the comment section. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes, and keep watching ComfortTV.channel. I'll say stay informed, stay connected, and keep asking the right questions. Until next time, have a good time.